On this week's Cosmic Cantina, high strangeness is afoot. I start off with an article involving a Turkish university course that teaches galactic diplomacy and cover-ups involving men in black. And then, Matt retells a missing 411 case from the 60s with a recent possible answer. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and every week I go to my favorite bar, Cosmic Cantina, and kick back with my co-hosts, Josh Golembeski and Matt O'Connor. We talk about aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, ancient cultures, and anything from the unseen world that needs a little illumination. This is Cosmic Cantina. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and tonight we're drinking spiked Snowmelt. Ooh, it's actually a craft hard seltzer. It's seltzer, like White Claw, but classy.
Yeah, it's definitely a step up from White Claw.
It's a local brewery here too, Upslope, yeah. So in Boulder. Good stuff.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Yep.
I'm resisting the urge to bring up that it's gluten-free.
You should,
Yeah.
because everybody...
Wait, Josh, are you gluten-free?
God, every time.
Again, people have been commenting. I think there's been people leaving recipes for you as well.
Please send them to
that's so
joshgolembeski.com.
A little bit of housekeeping tonight. Just want everybody to know that we launched our website. That's thecosmiccantina.com.
Our sexy ass photos.
Check it out. We look really serious.
Too.
It kind of looks like a Mexican soap opera.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, telenovela.
Josh is like, what the fuck is up? And Matt's got a smirk like, wee!
I'm doing something mischievous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? But that's basically our personalities.
It's investigative.
Yeah, it's very investigative.
Powerful.
Definitely. Anyway, check out our site. All of our episodes are uploaded there. So if for some reason, because I'm terrible at posting all the links to Spotify and iTunes, if you can't find those, you can go to our website. All of our stuff is there. Also, our bios are there, and any information that you need that we talk about going forward with articles, pictures, we're going to upload them there. So if you want to look at the stuff that we're talking about, it will be there for you. And we're also going to have merchandise.
Wow.
Yes.
So if you want some of our craziness on a cup or, maybe a pair of underwear, like we're going to have it.
Yeah. If you need my face on your underpants, I pity you.
I already have 3 pairs.
But, go for it.
Josh is ahead of the game. And you know what? They're gluten-free, too.
Yeah, you can chew on them.
Yeah.
This is getting awkward.
Don't eat.
Okay, this is not the astral sex episode, everybody.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so I did find another article. This article was in Newsweek. I thought it was sort of interesting because I had never heard of this before. The title is New University Class Claims Alien Government Conspiracy Theories Are Real. And government is covering up extraterrestrial civilizations. Okay, so I went on, and it looks like a Turkish university is including a new course that you can take called Ufology and Exopolitics. And it's a complete curriculum that prepares students for the possibility of extraterrestrial contact.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can take your parents' money and be like, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be the only one in the family that's going to be prepared for an extraterrestrial contact. I'm going to get this course.
Wow. I wonder how legit this university is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on board for sure.
Yeah. I already gave you my tuition money, but tell me. Yeah. Can I get a job afterwards?
Okay, so I'm just going to read from the article, so just make sure I get all of this correct. The course will focus not just on practical preparations and galactic diplomacy, but also on the purported history of cover-ups related to alien contact.
Interesting.
The class claims that public knowledge of this kind of alien activity has been suppressed by a group known as the MJ-12. MJ-12 is a proposed... It's part of a government...
Majestic 12,
yeah, Majestic 12 is a more government conspiracy type name for basically the Men in Black.
So this Turkish university is specifically talking about American stuff?
Yes, they're specifically talking about American stuff. So,
Men in Black.
So Majestic 12 is a purported organization that appears in UFO government conspiracies all the time. It's a code name for an alleged secret committee of scientists, military leaders, and government officials formed in 1947 by executive order by U.S. President Harry Truman. All right. So this class goes into all of that, what they possibly covered up. and what people need to know, especially young students need to know if they want to do galactic diplomacy.
Wow.
Interesting.
See, I like that angle on it. I like the galactic diplomacy angle of it. Because one of the more interesting things out there isn't if they exist or not, because I'm obviously beyond that, and I hope most people are, but it's the more interesting questions are like, what is galactic trade going to look like? What is galactic interrelations, is that even a word, look like? That stuff's really fascinating, so I'm glad they're at least going there with it, instead of just being like, it's real, and here's the best evidence, and here's a bunch of dry
United
case
States
studies.
has all the evidence.
Yeah. No, I like that. All right, go on.
But the Majestic 12 is interesting because they really go into the Men in Black, like what that is. Like these mysterious men that show up and try to harass people or get rid of people who possibly know things about aliens or have had an experience with them because they don't want it to get out in the public.
Right.
So this is like a whole course on that.
Wow.
Like understanding this cover-up and what this Majestic 12 was doing.
Well, the Men in Black thing is really interesting because
Yeah, I was
it's usually
just gonna
associated
say.
with only UFO events, and it's also associated with a term that I think John Keel coined called high strangeness.
Yep.
Where these Men in Black figures show up at your house after a UFO event and tell you basically not to talk about it. And usually it's weird. Sometimes they're human looking, they're very human, and it seems like a dude in a suit who works for the military, but sometimes they're like pasty-skinned, pale dudes with like long fingers who show up and talk weird. It's like they're trying to be a human.
That's what I was going to say. Men in Black are the sort of a government entity, whereas I think a lot of stories about Men in Black seems to be they're these odd beings. They're creatures. They're not actually human.
Yeah.
Which has a lot to do with high strangeness, like you said. Like high strangeness is kind of the activity, like traditionally the John Keel version. High strangeness is the activity kind of surrounding an event, like a UFO interaction, some sort of anomalous event. Yeah. And then, the high strangeness kicks in with the contactee or whoever experiences it. And then it's like this, it's just like this series of nonsense that just happens to them to basically try and, my theory is it's kind of trying to discredit their story, make them think they're crazy, like anything from like getting strange calls, strange people coming to your door, Men in Black type people, poltergeist activity, all sorts of crazy shit happens.
Yeah.
So I think the definition, if you look on Reddit with high strangeness, it's just kind of a catch-all for strange things.
Yeah, unexplainable events.
Yeah, whereas, the traditional high strangeness is all about the crazy shit that happens around an event.
Usually a UFO event, too.
Yeah,
Right.
usually UFO that happens to someone, so...
I think it's really cool that the university is taking it, because one of their main goals is galactic diplomacy, so they would have to know. They're literally studying all of this stuff that we think is like pseudoscience or not real or could be real or only people that believe in it, but they have a whole course on it. They're saying, oh, no, this happened. And the only way you're going to actually understand galactic diplomacy is if you understand this massive cover-up and understanding what the Men in Black stood for and who they were and if they were actual alien beings or if they were people.
Or government officials.
And what they were doing and what were they covering up. I mean, it's sort of crarazy.
Yeah, I love the fact...
We've gotten to the point where, like, other countries are supporting this idea of, like, oh, no, it's real.
Right, like that's where I was wanting to go. Is like their culture is accepting enough of everything that they are willing to have a course that's not belittled, immediately pushed to the side. You know,
Right.
Like, you don't see
Who
an American.
writes that textbook? We should get you guys. We should write that textbook.
Oh hell yeah, we should. I get paid to do that, no problem, all
Page
day
5,
long.
lots of swearing.
I mean, it sounds like a very...
Inappropriate sex jokes.
yeah, astral sex. It sounds like they're taking this very kind of Star Trek Galactic Federation kind of approach.
Yeah, but
to
it's
the whole
real.
thing.
It's not even a movie. This is like for real.
Yeah, I know, but like, it's not like there's this subversive alien takeover. It's like, oh, there are space friends, and we're going to trade gold and I don't know, space babies.
Oh, why are you worried? 'Cause space babies. Yeah,
Wait,
I'm actually more on the non-fear side. That's what would happen. You seem to be on the something dark's going down, and they're trying to.
I mean, I'd like
wait.
slowly
So
have to happen,
the
for
university
sure.
course is dark now.
No, he's
No.
just saying.
I think that they're taking the opinion that after we make contact officially with these things, that it's going to be like this galactic federation where we join.
Right, we hold
The
hands
Klingons
and everything's
the
fine.
Vulcans and
Yeah.
everyone's happy and we're trading things and but I don't know if it's that simple.
No, of course not.
It's a very human way of looking at making contact with other beings, I think.
Well, I'd take this course.
Yeah, I would take it. I would get a straight A's too. It'd be no problem.
Exopolitics, here I come.
No, I get kicked out of that class. I tried to tell the professor how to run his own class.
Yeah.
Of course. So just a little bit extra on just to add to Operation Majestic 12. If you don't already know this, but in 1988, 2 FBI offices received similar versions of a memo titled Operation Majestic 12, claiming to be highly classified government documents. The FBI records from this vault state that this was a briefing for the newly elected President Eisenhower on a secret committee created to exploit a recovery of an extraterrestrial aircraft and cover-up.
Ooh. Yes.
And so just a little idea of how weird this gets. I know if you're listening, you're probably into weird stuff already, so you're maybe into Men in Black or some of the cover-up of 1947. However, it does open up a lot of other weird stuff that's been happening ever since, which is high strangeness.
Right.
And Matt fell into another rabbit hole.
I did. I super did. I'd looked at high strangeness stuff. Obviously, Keel is the big high strangeness guy. He's got a bunch of stories. We talked about that.
The big kahuna, yep.
Yeah, at his website and stuff. But I was trying to look for some news stories, and I was trying to think of cases that were super strange, and it got me off on the... Well, it didn't get me off, but I went down on the...
Maybe a little.
A little bit.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Stop
Let's
it,
keep
you
going.
guys. I went down the path of Missing 411 again, David Paulides. And it got me thinking about one of his cases that he's reported on a lot. And I think it's kind of the epitome of Missing 411 because it's like everything in one, and it's kind of the case, I think, to explain how weird these missing cases are. And it's the case of Dennis Martin. I don't know if you heard this one.
Get yourself tucked in for Matt's scary bedtime stories.
I'm scared. Wait, who's Dennis Martin?
Dennis Martin was a young fella, 6 years old. This is back in 1969. Back in the early summer of 1969. And so he was a 6-year-old kid. He was with his father, his grandfather, and his brother. And they were playing out on this field they were in the Smoky Mountains. Mm-hmm. So just kind of on the Appalachian Trail there.
Yeah.
In the Smokies. They're kind of hiking through just on a fun day with the family. And they find this open field. And the open field, it's still there today. It's called Spence Field. And so they start playing in the field. They just like stop for a picnic and have a bite to eat, and the kids start playing. And like all around the edges of this open field is the forest area. Uh-huh. So as they're playing, another family comes up, and they have kids around about the same age, and this family is also called the Martin family. So both families have the last name of Martin, which is super weird all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
So, nothing weird about the family. They're just a couple of kids and parents, and they say, hey, can our kids, stop for a picnic too? Can our kids play with your kids? Absolutely. They go start playing hide and seek and, start running around the field and stuff. So cut to, during this time, another family about 7 miles away. Mm-hmm. I think it's a father, mother, and a little girl, maybe a little boy, little kid. Either way. They're about 7 miles away, and they're hiking through, and they want to see some bears.
You want to see some bears? Okay.
Got to see some bears. So they go to a ranger, one of the park rangers, and say, "Hey, where do we go see some bears?" And so the park ranger points them to, "Hey, there's a field a couple miles away from here, and it's usually like an awesome spot for bears." So off they go. Back to Spence Field now. We're cutting back and forth.
All right,
back to Spence Field.
I'm
following. Don't worry.
So this is a couple hours later now. The kids have been playing. When the kids were playing before, Mr. Martin, the father, saw little Dennis, 6-year-old Dennis, duck behind a bush that was kind of on the outskirts of the open field.
Yeah.
So Dennis ducks behind the bush, and he's they're playing hide and seek or whatever. So after a while, Dennis' father's talking to the other Martin family, and he kind of notices, I haven't seen Dennis in a while. So he kind of starts heading towards his bush, and as he's heading there, he's kind of noticing that something's not right. Like he hasn't seen this kid in a while now.
Oh, he probably felt something was wrong.
Yeah. So he he finds the bush where he sees the bush